This is my Shindao swapped Razor MX350. And although it might look nice, it has a plethora of problems. Like that gas tank, made of a water bottle. Or the fact that it pretty much doesn't have a drivetrain, as you can see. First thing I'm going to work on is the drivetrain, so let's get to work on that. Now here is the Razor, and I'm just going to kick this off by saying this was terrible. Look at these welds, look at this. I could probably snap that right now, and it's kind of bending. Well, this is already snapped, you can see. This was okay, but I could also improve this. And obviously it's not adjustable at all, so you've just got to find the perfect belt and then just pray it'll work. Which has led to some burning belts, as you can see, and generally some bad problems. This is also terrible. I'm gonna have to redo that too, and this pulley is terrible. So let's get started by 3D modeling some new parts here, which I can then cut out of steel. As you can see, I've done a lot of 3D modeling. Here are some dimensions and measurements from the bike and the 3D models. You can see the gearing of the jackshaft bit is going to be half, and the entire housing that holds the jackshaft slides back and forth an inch along the frame, so a lot of different belts will fit. And the tensioning arm that actually basically does the clutching also can be adjusted in length by 15 millimeters, and the angle of the end of that arm can also be swung around to adjust it even more. Point is, it's all adjustable. This piece is going to weld onto the frame, and this is just for reference. This is going to be cut out of a piece of plate steel. Here is the actual jackshaft housing, made out of this funky piece of angle iron and a piece of 2-inch plate steel here, and then another piece of plate steel here. These two holes are for bearings to press into, and I can even bring back the bearings. This is how they're going to look. And this is, and this is going to be a mock-up of the jackshaft itself, which goes into the bearings, and this is the rear pulley. These two holes will have bolts going through them, and then those bolts will go into the slot, and that'll allow the jackshaft housing to slide back and forth. The jackshaft itself here will be made out of steel and go into the two bearings between here. Here is the pulley that attaches here. Front pulley. This is mostly for mock-up. I'll just make this with crap I have lying around. This is the tensioning arm bracket, which welds to the frame. Here is the first part of the tensioning arm, and this is the pivot point right here. Two bearings will be welded on each side of this piece, and it'll go into this bracket. This slot here is for another bolt to go in through this hole here on the second part, and that'll allow the length of this to be adjusted a bit, and the angle here, so it'll tilt forward around here. And onto here, two more bearings will attach, which will be the actual tensioner bearings. They'll rub against the belt. Now some parts, like this housing, I can make here with materials I have here, but other parts, like the pulleys and parts of these two tensioning arm pieces, I can't make here. I'll need machines for that. Like this little piece here. I mean, this bracket itself I can make. This I can also make here, and obviously the jackshaft itself I also can't make here. But I will get to work making some of these parts. Here I am in the basement, and I've gotten this little cheat sheet of everything that I need to make. part is this? J1. And here, let me confirm it's right size. It should be roughly 75 millimeters, so 70, 80, any of those will work. Roughly. Now this gets marked as J1. And off to the pile it goes. There's quite a bit of steel there. So that's every single plate that I had to cut on this paper. Of course, there is still some drilling to do, and I will do that tomorrow. So I'm at the old house now. Hello, this is the mill. There you go, here's the finished part. Now I'm going to make part of the jack shaft housing. Here I've just got to drill 2 holes. Here is the piece finished. And I believe this is the final piece where I'll have to do lots of milling. I'm gonna have to check back on the footage to see how in the hell that happened. There you go, there's the final part. Here's the finished cut here, you can see. That's all good. Yeah, perfect. Property, and I've done some last minute machining that you probably didn't see, like these holes for the bearings. I just didn't have time to film it. But let's get welding, and yes, I am welding on the welding table instead of on the ground.
the bike and ignore me wearing boots. This is just what I can throw on really quickly. But anyway, the camera kind of stopped filming a while ago. I was too lazy to change out the SD card. That's done now, so you can see this tensioning arm piece is assembled and installed, along with the tensioning arm bracket. Belts in place, and the tensioning arm, tensions, and quite nicely, as you can see. Well, I haven't really bothered filming much, but I have tacked together everything. So this is installed, and the clutch lever is connected. And there's this funky tensioner thingy on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and test this. Oops. GoPro kind of has like 5% battery right now, so it might die, but I'm gonna go on a test drive with a helmet cam and be very gentle because it's all still tacked in place. So here, I'm gonna go for a bit of a longer test drive now that everything's assembled, and I'll let it all warm up, get the belt warm. Hopefully it should start gripping after it's warm. That was successful, but it was all downhill. Belt's all warm. Let's see how it goes uphill. That was great. Yeah, the belt slip isn't a problem at all once it's going. Wow. That was fun. It's working great. bit of a mechanical failure. The pulleys come off and the chain.